Hey everyone, welcome back to R&J Reviews. I am Four Eyes McGee, aka Rob. I'm wearing my glasses tonight. Normally I never wear them, so yeah, if you want to call me Four Eyes McGee, I'll respond to that, but don't do that. We're here to talk about Once Upon a Time's Firebird, but let's have Joe say hello.
Am I Two Eyes Mickey? Boys, girls, all of my Trombaholics and all of his Lightionites, and I guess
McGee's.
McGeemans? I don't know.
Yeah,
Alpha, welcome back to R&J Reviews. Welcome back to Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. So we're here to discuss the Captain Swan episode of Season 5B called Firebird, which I, in my head, was calling Phoenix, because that's what a Firebird essentially is. It was an episode that I actually really didn't like at all. I think it was very badly paced, and the story was just very sloppy. It had too much going on. I did enjoy the acting quite a bit, and I also didn't like the end result of the episode. I talked about that a little bit on my review on our other channel, which you guys can see in the video description. But overall, I would say this episode is a weaker one when it really could have been a strong one.
So the tagline was "Save Hook" for this half of the season.
Yeah, hashtag Save Hook, hashtag Operation Firebird, etc.
Right. Our tagline has pretty much been to not agree on the episodes, agree to disagree, if you will. And that streak continues because I thought this was one of the better episodes of this half of the season. However, I'm with you. I did not like the way the story's going, but the rest of the episode, it felt big. This felt like, in many ways, kind of a season finale or a penultimate episode. So in that sense, it felt very grand in scale. So I liked that. I liked that feel. It was a very different feel than the other episodes. However, like you said, the way the story's going is just kind of redundant and contrived in some ways and not making too much sense.
Yeah, I felt the flashback was essentially useless because all it did was give an extra layer to Emma, who's already an onion, as I called her in my other review. She's already a very layered character. So, like, what was the purpose of it? Her Cleo, her bail bonds.
Oh, I get it. Layered. She's putting on another layer with the coat. I get it.
There's plenty. I have plenty of references. Right. Cleo, her bail bondsman inspired person, died, and she wasn't even in the underworld. That actually would have been an interesting thing if she was in the underworld for some reason. And she died in such a horrible, stupid way, which I didn't really care for. So I thought the flashback was very, very, very weak. I did like several of the storylines going on in the present day, but I think what it led up to was something I didn't enjoy. Actually, I know I didn't enjoy it.
Did Emma take the red jacket from her?
No, because the red jacket, Cleo was wearing a brown one. She bought a red jacket from Cleo's daughter.
Oh, I don't know why it looked like darkish red, because Emma's is kind of dark red. We're talking about colors of jackets here. Okay.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, no, I agree. The flashbacks were probably pretty weak. I know I said I enjoyed the episode. I think it's greater than the sum of its parts, pretty much. Because if you look at the story elements, like I said, took a bad turn, and you were just going over the flashbacks, I think the flashbacks were extremely weak as well, probably the weakest of this half of the season. However, I still think the episode was the sum was greater than the episode was greater than the sum of its parts.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, technically, they concluded the Firebird operation. They led into something for a finale. I just felt very underwhelmed by the results of the conclusion. And also, it's like Hades is good, then he's bad. It's like you just twist him that badly. Just keep him in one direction, you know?
Well, I mean, I think viewers, I don't think we were supposed to take him as good. I mean, I think there was always still kind of that doubt there. Like I said, this whole half of the season, I thought he really actually didn't even love Zelina, but I think that's
been disproven. That's completely disproven.
Yeah. So I haven't trusted the guy. I think the point was like not to trust him. So I think it was pretty like, oh, okay. Yeah, we weren't supposed to trust him.
Yeah, okay. Let's just talk about the three present day storylines. So Rumpelstiltskin killed Peter Pan. I thought that was kind of fun. He got rid of
Killed him again.
yes, twice now. He stuffed his he stuffed a fake heart in Peter Pan's body, which had water from the River of Lost Souls, and Peter Pan pulled an anti-M and melted.
They have the water melting people. They have a huge missed opportunity with Zelena.
Oh, you have to want to actually melt her to get rid of her.
And for her to scream, "I'm melting." That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It definitely won't happen.
No.
But, I think that's kind of a missed opportunity in some ways, because of just that scene alone would be hysterical. What were we talking about?
Rumpel killed Pan, and then Rumpel
Yep.
put Belle into Pandora's box and left the underworld. I mean, he could have carried her, he could have moved her with his mind, but he had to put her into a box. Thought that was stupid.
I just kind of wish they made Pan look stronger than he was. Pan was, to this day, probably. I mean, I loved Elizabeth Mitchell's character, but I loved Peter Pan. I loved that arc. I thought that was a really clever arc, and I thought they made Pan at the time look
Badass,
clever. Yeah, badass, clever. Very strong, not in a physical sense, but in a power kind of sense. And they made him look weak here, and that's unfortunate because I love Pan.
Well, there was this great scene that I talked about. It was probably one of my favorites of 5, where Hades goes to Granny's diner to get Zelena back, and Rumpel and Pan appear, and Rumpel says, "Rip up the contract, and I'll give you back Zelena." And Hades does it, and then Pan goes, "Well, we promised you we'd give her back, but without her heart." And then he goes to rip it out, and then Emma blocks it. And I thought, wow, that's like a change of character. Emma is saving Zelena, that's new. And then she's helping Hades, who would have thought that? And then she gets a one up on Pan but then she and Rumpel have this great moment where she goes to him, "He did what you wanted. You don't need to be with Pan anymore." And he goes, "Oh, you're right." It just poofs.
I don't know if that's a very smart decision or a very dumb decision. Because it's smart because he did get what he wants, and in that moment, it would make sense for him just to be like, "Oh yeah, you're right, okay." So it makes sense.
Yeah, it totally did. Well, he had no intention, obviously, from the discussion in the beginning, to stay on Pan's good side. So he was just whatever.
Yeah.
So that was that. So Rumpel killed Pan, and Rumpel went back to Storybrooke. And then we have Hook and Emma. Hades says to Emma, the heart split wouldn't work because he's been dead for too long. So,
just like this half this season.
Yeah. I guess it actually makes sense because if you think about when they did the heart split, if she did it right away, it probably would have saved him. But they waited too long to do it.
Right.
Because I think when Snow White did it in season 3, as they said in the episode, she waited like a minute before they gave him, before they brought him back to life. So he didn't have even time to move on. So you look, you have something to say.
Yeah, they got graphic with it too. Hades was like, do you know how old his body would be at this point? Do you want to?
He's like, well, you probably couldn't get rid of that smell at that point.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes you follow science, sometimes not, and in that case you do.
I don't know. I mean, they could have preserved his body they preserved bodies before.
A preserving spell or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done that. Plot holes. So he says you need to go and get the fruit of ambrosia to, I guess, bring him back. Yeah, at that point, I was like, okay. So they go down to do it, and Regina, Henry, and David, and Robin Hood stay up in the land trying to help people move on. And Cruella's like, "I'm not letting people move on, and I'm not letting you move on because I don't like you people." And she goes, "Hades leaving, so I'm going to be the new queen of the underworld." She goes from queen of darkness to queen of hell. Good for her.
Yeah, she's really made the most out of a half a season where she really wasn't the focus.
Yeah.
She made the most out of it. She kind of ripped the screen time, the camera to her, and basically said, "Look at me." She was great. This turn for the character is interesting, and it's kind of good if that's the last we see of her. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the people at the end of the episode got to go home, so it's like they have no reason to go back. She doesn't want to move on because if she moves on, she's going to hell. So now she gets to rule, and then she can hold people in their place from moving on. So now she has a kingdom. She gets what she wants.
It makes sense. She's ultimately, when it comes to the show, the most evil character we've had. She really hasn't had any doubts about being evil. It's just who she is.
Yeah.
Nothing really made her that way. So it makes sense that she would be the queen of the underworld.
Yeah. Now she literally gets I tweeted Victoria Smurfett and she liked it, which I loved. I'm so happy Cruella found her happy ending, and her happy ending was being the queen of the underworld.
Exactly. In a way, that is her happy ending. So that is a good ending for her. I hope, actually, from a character standpoint, that's the last we see of her.
Yeah. I mean, as talented as Victoria is, I think ending the character right there is good. I agree.
Absolutely.
So, they were trapped by her, and eventually they're able to get out when Emma comes back. But the thing is, the whole ambrosia tree thing, Hades cut it down. Hades sent them to the underworld because Emma and Hook to that low part of hell because he wanted to keep them down there and keep everyone else in the underworld too when he left, because he and Zelena go back to Storybrooke with the baby. Zelena is still unaware that Hades is evil. So I guess the high point of this episode is Emma and Hook truly are in love. It's true love, but true love isn't enough.
Seems to be gone for now. We'll see if that lasts.
Their parting was sad. I was gonna do a pun from Romeo and Juliet, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, it was, and I guess that's the end of the underworld.
Yeah, they're done. There's an episode next week, and then there's 2 on the 15th, and then the episode's over. The season's over.
I guess Hades. There's gonna be something. Maybe they swap him for Hook or something. There's gonna be some way that Hook comes back and Hades.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he does. I looked it up before we started. From the casting list, I didn't see Hook in the Last Rites, which is next week, but he's in the other 2 following that. So
they'll go 1 week.
It very much could go 1 week without him, and then the last week with him, or have him, or pull him back at the end of next week's. I don't know. But yeah, so Hades. So everyone's back in Storybrooke. Hook is in the underworld. Cruella is now the queen of the underworld. And that's kind of where the episode went.
That means the spirits of the week story seems to be done. So I want to leave this kind of open to everyone watching. Is there any character that you wish they did as a spirit of the week? Do you think they kind of forgot someone that could have been a big deal? And if not, then who's your favorite spirit of the week? Because they actually got some mileage out of that, I feel like.
And it's interesting though, for said spirits, a lot of them didn't even get to move on. Like Mila was sent into the river. Gaston was sent into the river.
Most of them went swimming.
Yeah. Captain Silver went into the river. Someone else went to the river too. Oh,
Auntie M.
Yeah, Auntie M was melted. And David or James was sent to the river too. But Cora and Henry's dad, or Cora, Henry, Hook's brother, all of those guys on the ship, and I think 1 or 2 other people were able to actually happily move on though. So there's a little bit of a balance.
You mentioned Hercules.
Oh, Hercules moved on too. No, I forgot about him. And Meg, they moved on.
Yeah. Okay. This is just a shot dark. I probably should have asked you this before we went on. But I'm just double checking. One character is still alive, right? Pistachio. Jesus.
Pinocchio.
He's still alive, right?
Yeah, he's still alive.
I remember he got kidnapped by the Queens of Dark. I didn't.
They saved him. He just never came back after they saved him.
Thought so, but wasn't completely sure. So I was going to say it was that a miss, but no. Okay.
No, he's not dead. He's not dead.
Pistachio.
That could be the baby's name, though.
So Mr. Peanut, where was he? But I think that's pretty much everything.
Oh, also, just not that it mattered overall, and it was very relevant, but I feel like if people liked season 1 and they liked Grumpy and Stealthy got a little cameo in this episode from season 1, one of the dwarves, and he got to move on too. Just wanted to give a shout out for anyone who was a big fan of season 1.
Oh, I might have missed that.
Yeah, he was That was like Henry's only line when he like wished Stealthy a happy afterlife.
Oh, I missed that. Okay, so he moved on. He went up, I guess.
Yeah, they didn't like show it literally, but like Henry told him what his unfinished business was, and then he went to go accomplish it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that. That was good. Good
Yeah,
thing.
so I mean, I didn't dislike it. I just didn't like how the whole thing was safe hook, safe hook, safe hook, safe hook, safe hook.
NVM LOL.
Exactly.
No.
I just didn't care for the end result. So I feel like we covered it. It's interesting. I was frustrated with it, but I've been frustrated with half the season anyway.
Like I said, strangely greater than the sum of its parts for some reason. I don't know. It's something about it just clicked to me, and I guess the scope felt bigger.
Well, I really, really did enjoy like the whole Cruella thing and like Hades going to the or Hades leaving thing. I like that. I just didn't like how the whole purpose of this mission was futile.
Yeah, I guess failing. I guess it's just kind of the.
I guess it makes it more real that you can't accomplish everything you want to accomplish.
Well, we're also talking about more real in the show with the underworld and Snow White stuff, so, and preserving.
Yeah, we really can't bring reality into this show.
Sleeping curses and.
Oh, someone did make a comment, and I just want to give them I forget who it is. I'm so sorry, but you made a fun comment on one of my videos about the cuff that they put on Zelina to neutralize her magic. Like that cuff they said that cuff has been used as much as the curse has been used. And I completely agree. And I'm also wondering, is there a factory making these cuffs? Because like they keep cutting them off.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think Regina's been cuffed. Zelina's been cuffed like 10 times. Emma's been cuffed. Cora's been cuffed.
Zelina has been cuffed many times.
Yeah, they cuffed her in season 4 throughout all of 4 and 5. They just kept cuffing her.
Huh.
So I just want to give a little. Whoever said that comment, please credit yourself below, because I want to give you credit for it. I just forgot because I don't have it pulled up. But yeah, the cuff has been used as many times as the dark curse, if not more.
Wow.
Well, I think we covered the episode.
Oh, sorry. There needs to be some chart with like sleeping curse 20 times, like cuffs 30, dark curse every episode.
Every season at this rate, right? Yeah. Was it used in season 2?
2? Yeah, I think so.
It was shown in 2. It wasn't used though. It was shown, but not used.
I think is this the only? No, they did it in 5A, right?
They used it to get everyone back from Camelot.
Okay, so yeah, every season 4. Oh yeah, Snow Queen did it, right? Her version.
No, that wasn't the dark curse. That was her own curse. That wasn't going to move people.
Oh.
Yeah, let's see. Regina cast it. Pan cast it.
Regina cast it at one point.
No,
he tried.
No.
Remember with the well?
That was bringing magic to Storybrooke. That wasn't casting it. Regina cast it. Pan cast it. Regina broke it. Snow White cast it. Hook cast it. Jeez. And Emma modified it. Emma modified Hook's, and Zelina modified Snow White's. And the Snow Queen cast her own curse, and the Maleficent put everyone in the town to sleep before. Snow White's been sleeping cursed. Charming's been sleeping cursed. Henry's been sleeping cursed. Regina was going to be sleeping cursed. Belle's been sleeping cursed. Sleeping Beauty's been sleeping cursed. It sounds really
Red's
weird.
Been sleeping cursed.
No, Dorothy was.
Ruby. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dorothy. Red. Ruby. I'm off in names this episode.
I know. It's fine, though.
It's very trivial stuff, too.
I feel like we just really broke it down pretty well, too.
Burgundy.
Azel. Well, I think we pretty much covered this episode. I'm looking forward to Last Rites to see which character really dies and if Hook is able to come back to life, and the conflict between Zelina and Emma too, and also Zelina and Regina. But we have a.
Oh, sorry. You go on. I think there's something about that name though.
What name?
Last Rite. Colin O'Donoghue. The only movie I saw him in, I think. Oh, maybe that was the first, right? It was a very good horror movie. But that'll be ironic if that's like the only episode he misses.
And it's the name of a movie he was in. That would be interesting.
You continue.
Well, I guess we can read off a couple of reviews we have. Just wanted to share them with you guys. So for this episode, from the Poison Apple on Instagram, he went, Hades. I knew he didn't change that easily. Excuse me. He went, Hades. I knew he didn't change that easily. I was so surprised when Cruella and the Blind Witch teamed up. I can't believe this might actually be the end of Hook. I also love the flashback. Finally, no Enchanted Forest. This episode was so amazing. I can't wait for Last Rites. Thank you for sharing my review. Then from 1194 Emily, she wrote, just an idea. I think the funeral in Last Rites is Hook's. Secondly, I have mixed feelings on Firebird. I didn't like it because there was too much going on, too many storylines I felt. I'm so sick of the magic cuff of doom. It's been done like the sleeping curse or even the dark curse. It's predictable. Oh, it was Emily who said this. So thank you, Emily. I really did enjoy your thing about the cuff. It's the cuff is the uses of the cuff is predictable. Defeating the stilt skins was way too easy and kind of pointless. Now on to the good. The acting by Colin Yu and Jen was superb. They stole it, and I love the Captain Swan scenes. I actually liked all of the effects. I'm glad Hades is still evil because I thought he was beginning to look too weak. Lastly, will they finally give the baby Hood a name? Come on. Also, rip Hook for the time being. And you have one review from Sophia to check out.
Yes. And by the way, it was the right.
The right.
But the right. So it's close enough.
But no last.
No last. So that was the right. This is the last, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So from Sophia at BG_Sophia said, maybe it's just me, but I found this episode a little confusing. So it's not just you.
Nope,
we definitely did. I'm thinking / hoping we're not done with Hook yet, because it's frustrating that we spent all this painful time in the underworld and we didn't even save Hook. Yeah, absolutely.
Very valid. Very, very valid.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to the three of you who sent in your reviews. All of you who watch, always send in your reviews because we do these streams late. So you definitely have time to get them in if you're East Coast, West Coast, Asia.
North Coast, South Coast, Northwest Coast.
Southeast Coast?
Yeah, Northeast, Southwest.
Western, Southern?
Yeah.
So we just have a few more quick announcements, and then we're going to wrap this up. So, Joe, why don't you go for them?
Okay, so we just wanted to let you know Lauren Hughes, if you're watching, if you could somehow contact us. Yeah, maybe on Twitter or YouTube, whatever is easiest, so we can discuss Patreon. Your rewards. You have quite a few rewards that we want to
at least.
Well, also the $1 rewards as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to talk about the topic video that you get to choose that we do. And we also want to set up the Google Hangouts that we will be doing for the Patreon viewers for that category.
Yep.
So if you could message us, that would be perfect. And for everyone else, check out the Patreon. It'll be down below. Get some of these cool rewards. And yeah, that's all from the Patreon front. We do have a big announcement regarding the other channel.
Oh yeah,
not the other Robert.
Yeah, it's not the other Robert anymore. We were talking last night, and we realized YouTube lets you change the name of channels. So we were like, let's change it up. So it's now The Model Nerds for anyone who's like, where did this subscription come from? That's where.
Yeah, we've been saying lately, things kind of forcibly at first
had to change.
Have been going a different way. So it wasn't really just like he said, we kind of just thought of it, but we were trying to think of it for a little while. We were trying to think of a new name. We're going in a very different direction now. Not too different. We're still doing once and everything, but we're going in a different direction now. It's kind of a repackaging. So we figured that the new name would be a great way to kind of start this kind of movement with that. And at the same time, you're probably wondering, why are we still on R&J doing this?
Yes, that's a big thing. So despite the fact the copyright infringement was defeated, which I was very happy about. If we were on like a probation, if you get any copyright infringement of any kind for 3 months, the channel will go back on strike, more or less, and monetization is forever disabled. So I'm keeping a lot of videos here to give this channel its own identity. So trailer reactions, trailer reviews, just reactions in general, anything that would involve footage stays on RNJ for the time being. So this channel is going to have its own identity. While other Robert will have more movie reviews, other types of things. Of course, it has the Once Upon a Time reviews that I post on it. But that channel's sort of like the nexus. Well, this channel is like, if you want footage, here it is.
Exactly.
So yeah, I just wanted, so that's going to be the summer. We're not going to go beyond the summer for planning. But yeah, so like any footage videos here. I think that's it.
I think that's everything, yeah.
Yeah, we definitely went through that's a list. It's tough. It's a lot of things to cover and make sure. So Patreon, channel name, reaction reviews. Thank you, all of you, all 12 of you who decided to watch this. We really appreciate it. We'll hopefully have a good discussion in the comments below with you guys. Share your thoughts on Firebird, talk about Last Rites and the trailer review. Leave comments if you want us to do reactions and other stuff on this channel. That we greatly appreciate your viewership, and we'll talk to you all very, very soon. So thank you for watching, and good night. Bye.